All right, so Madam Daniela Asa, the floor is all yours.
Okay, I'd like to share my screen. So can you give me access?
Let me see. Oops. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I think there can be only one host at a time. Share your screen, let's see if it works.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to transfer host to you, and then it means that you will
I'm done.
Do the recording for me, please. Okay.
Oh, okay, I have to be recording for you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you can make a co-host.
Yeah.
My account does not allow me have co-hosts, more than one host. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ellie, and thank you, everyone, for this opportunity to talk to you about our group insurance or preparing for the inevitable. I wouldn't waste too much time. I'll just go straight to the point. The reason why we are here today. First of all, just a minute. Okay. So I'll give a brief introduction, and then we'll be talking about the major certainty in life. And then we'll also talk about insurance. And then I'll give you some risk management tips. And then I'm definitely not going to leave you hanging. I'll also provide you with a comprehensive solution after we have spoken about how to prepare ourselves against the inevitables. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, but it would be good if you please introduce yourself briefly and then you start.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay, so my name is Daniela Asaf. I'm a relationship manager with the corporate risk department of Enterprise Life. We are into corporate businesses, we are into group businesses, any group business, any association, any alumni group. We provide insurance solutions to groups such as yours and then corporate institutions as well. So this is just a brief of who I am and what I do with Enterprise Life. Okay, so can I continue now?
Yes, please. Thank you.
So talking about the inevitables, we are faced with this on a daily basis. Some of the examples of the inevitables are touch with someone dying, someone falling sick, someone being involved in an accident, or someone being temporarily or permanently disabled. These are things we call inevitables. These are things that happens to us on a daily basis and not control. However, there's only one certainty in life, which is death. And I am a Christian, so I can relate to the Bible, whereby even Hebrews 9:21 actually confirms that everyone at a point will die. It's something we can't run away from. And depending on whatever belief you have, or whatever religion you belong to, I'm sure we can all relate to the fact that death is a certainty that we can't control. We are saying that although it's something that we can't control, it's something that we can plan for, or we can get prepared for it, so that in the case whereby we are no more, what happens to our loved ones, or what happens to our families, what happens to our businesses, what happens to all the things that that made our families or our loved ones comfortable, what happens to all those things? And that is where insurance comes in. Insurance companies are here to protect or to provide you cover against disasters, against injuries, against any form of risk. We do travel insurance. We provide solutions for your safety, for your medicals. There are so many policies that insurers cover, or insurers provide cover for. And these are some of the examples in the slide you are seeing. Is insurance. Insurance is simply an arrangement whereby we are saying that you pay a premium to guarantee a compensation payable upon a loss, damage, illness, or even death. And I'm going to give you some risk management tips to help you, or to help guide you when you are preparing for the inevitables. And then the first one is for you to know your vulnerabilities. There's a need for you to do a self-check or a self-assessment of your vulnerabilities. When we talk about vulnerabilities, what I'm talking about is the fact that you may be a breadwinner. You may be the only person who provides financial support to your family, or you may have some exposures. It could be your house, it could be your cars. What happens? The question is, what happens to your family members or your loved ones when you die? Or what happens? Do they become better off when you die, or do they become worse off? And then for your valuables, your cars, your accommodation, we are saying that what happens to these vulnerabilities? What happens when someone steals your cars? What happens when you are involved in an accident? What happens when you are faced with fire in your house and you lose all your valuables? That is where we as insurers, we come in, and we are saying that one of the tips that we need to consider is for you to do a risk transfer. I've already given you examples of all the covers that we have with insurance companies. You can cover yourselves, you can cover your dependents, you can cover you can go for policies to cover your cars, your buildings, your contents. Any vulnerability or any risk exposure that you think you are facing, we could provide a solution for you, or we can provide a solution for you to sign on. Then there is also what we call the emergency protection, whereby you need to make provision for these dark days. What policies are you putting in place? After knowing all these policies that we are talking about, what policies are you putting in place to protect yourself against these inevitables? Are you taking a life cover? Are you joining your group members to take a group policy? Are you going for a car insurance? These are the emergency protection tips. I mean, these are the things that you need to look at. What policies or what covers are you going for? And then we also have what we call inspection and maintenance, what we normally do is that after we have bought a policy or after we have signed on to a policy, that's it. That's the end of it. We don't. Most of us don't even know what we have signed on to, so we don't even know the basic covers of the policy. And then we also sometimes do not pay premiums, so our policies eventually get lapsed. And then that is where you come for your claim. And then when the insurance repudiates a claim, there's this confusion because you probably didn't know that you were supposed to keep your policy active or you were supposed to renew your policy. This is what we call the inspection and maintenance. You need to ensure that after you have bought your policies, you need to ensure that they stay active, you need to ensure that they do not lapse, and you need to find out whether they are renewable. And if they are renewable, how long? What is the term? Is it a 5-year policy? Is it an annual policy? You need to know all these things in order not to find yourself wanting when there is a claim. Then the last tip or the last risk management tip that you need to know is also the fact that we need to learn from the misfortune of others. In Chi, there's a saying that goes like, so you might have probably had someone or a friend lose maybe a sole breadwinner or a supporting member of the family, somebody who really supports financially at home. And then after the death of the person, I mean, nothing works again. You may have heard that somebody may have bought a house and then after a flood or fire, it's like, that's it, that's the end of it. You need to learn. You've heard these stories, you've seen some of these stories, some of you might have experienced these stories already, but what do we do with it? We need to learn from these misfortune of others and also protect ourselves by doing or protect ourselves by getting us by getting an insurance policy to cover these or unforeseen events. So I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to talk about a comprehensive solution that we have, especially in a particular setting. I know this is an alumni group, and I'm sure Ellie mentioned that it's on a global platform, but this policy was actually designed for just the year groups. So I believe this is UMSU 96. And this policy is designed for the individual year groups in the of these various schools that we have. So we usually find ourselves in many platforms. So me, for instance, I find myself in my primary school platform, in my junior secondary school platform, all the way to my first form, whereby we are always making contributions to support members when they are faced with when they are faced with death, most especially, which happens to either the members, their spouses, or their adult dependents. And then we are also sometimes faced with people, other members getting critically ill, or maybe they are becoming permanently disabled, and contributions are being made on all these various platforms. And in a year, you realize that you are making contributions. Sometimes it's very difficult because you have probably made some contributions on other platforms, and then right after 1 year, doing another contribution on another platform. And we are saying that you don't want to be doing these ad hoc contributions. This is the reason why we have designed this policy, Alumni by Enterprise, whereby we are saying that we have 4 packages. At least each year group should find themselves aligned to any of these packages. We have bronze, we have silver, we have gold, and platinum. Have these 3 main covers, which is the death cover, which pays out a benefit when you lose a member or you lose a spouse of a member, or you lose any adult dependent of a member through natural or accidental death. This policy also covers, has a critical illness cover, whereby we are saying that critical illness is described as a disease in which death is possible or imminent. So this is not the usual malaria that we have occasionally, but this policy actually covers, we have 13 dreaded diseases under this particular policy, whereby these diseases include stroke, we have cancer, we have kidney-related diseases. There are 13 of them, and they all fall under this particular cover. We also have the total permanent disability, whereby the benefit is payable when a member becomes permanently unable to do the work he or she has been trained or educated to do because of an injury or illness. These are things that we are facing in our various year groups, and we are always making contributions to support other members of the group. So looking at the packages that we have, each there's a breakdown for each of the packages. So if Mauli OMSU 96 decides to go for the bronze package, these are the details of the breakdown of the benefits of that particular package. So the total sum assured is 20,000 Ghana cedis. And we are saying that Touchwood, if you should lose a member or a spouse, will pay out 5,000 Ghana cedis each. If you should lose any of the 2 adult dependents that you are nominating onto the policy, will pay out 2,500 Ghana cedis. Now, if a member should be critically ill, diagnosed of being critically ill, or totally or permanently disabled, will pay another 2,500 Ghana cedis. And we are saying that each member would have to pay 120 Ghana cedis to enjoy this bronze package. The same principle applies to the silver package, whereby the total sum assured is 40,000. And then we do a payout for the death of a member and spouse of 10,000 Ghana cedis. For the 2 adult dependents, is 5,000 Ghana cedis. Critical illness and total permanent disability is also 5,000 Ghana cedis.
A moment.
And we are saying
a moment, please.
Each member.
Daniela, please wait a moment. User Samsung Galaxy MSMA 5257F. Can you please mute yourself? And Daniela, if you could, please mute him for me.
Okay.
You may continue. I will mute him.
I'm trying.
Just right click on him and choose Samsung.
Is it a Samsung Galaxy one?
Yes, please, the Samsung.
Maybe he's not aware that it's even causing mess here.
That's true, he's not aware. Okay, please go ahead.
All right. So for the silver package, each member would have to pay 240 Ghana cedis to enjoy the silver package. And then for the gold package, it's 60,000 Ghana cedis per person. And this is the breakdown. Upon the death of a member and a spouse, will pay out 15,000 Ghana cedis each. And then if you should lose an adult dependent, will pay out 7,500 Ghana cedis each. For critical illness and total permanent disability, we'll pay 7,500 Ghana cedis for each of the covers. And we are saying that each member would have to pay 360 Ghana cedis for the whole year to enjoy the gold package. The same principle applies to the platinum package, which is the highest package on the policy. The total sum assured is 80,000, and then the breakdown for upon the death of a member and spouse is 20,000 Ghana cedis each. And for all the other covers, it is 10,000 Ghana cedis. All we need to do is pay 480 Ghana cedis per member to enjoy the package. Okay, so these are the rules of engagement. Now, once you are part of the year group, you qualify to be on the policy. Every member can be on cover. If you want to be part of the policy, every member can be on cover. Now, it's an annual policy. And after a year, if the policy starts today, the policy expires around the same time next year. And it's a renewable policy. So the group gets to renew after each year. There's no waiting period on the policy. However, for members who are unable to join at the point of entry, would have to go through a 6 months waiting period for all members and their covered lives as well before they can enjoy cover, although the premiums will be prorated from the time that they are joining. Then we need a minimum of 20 persons or 20 members to start the policy. There are no territorial limits, which means that for members, for your group, if you have members who live abroad or who are residents outside, once they are part of your year group, they can be part of the policy. And the normal standard exclusions, insurance exclusions apply. When you go to every insurance company, the standard exclusions, it applies in every insurance company that applies to this policy. The most important part of this whole policy is claims. What happens when there is a claim? We've tried to make it as seamless and as easy as possible for our groups to make claims. All we need is a proof of death. When I say proof of death, we need a medical cause of death. It's fine. If you get a medical cause of death, we can make the claim payment. If you have a death certificate, that's equally fine. We can make a payment with that documentation. But we'll need you to fill an online form, which will be shared once the group decides to sign on to the policy. So you submit this to us through an email, the proof of death, and then the completed online claim form. And within 5 working days, we start the process and then payment is done. Now, as a group, some groups have their own accounts that they prefer that we make all payments to. But for groups that do not have accounts and they have would have to be paying the claims to individuals, it can be done. All we need to know is that at the point of notifying us, you'd have to give us the account details of whoever the beneficiary is. And once the claim process is complete, we'll make payments into the account details that you have provided. And as I said earlier on, it takes a maximum of 5 working days for funds to be credited into the designated account. I would end here, and if there are any questions, I'll take it from.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniela. I think your presentation has gone down well with me. There are a few hands up now who would like to start with Felix Atabu, and then it will be followed by Albi, then Frank Kudepo. So Felix, please unmute and go ahead.
Hello, thanks very much, Daniela. I've got a couple of questions, really. Okay. I will just ask both questions so that you can go through them. The first one is that we can cover an adult dependent. My understanding is that the adult dependent has to be your parent or your parent-in-law. If that is the case, I belong to a very, very old group, 75-year group, and we are all 65 or over. So most of our parents are our parents-in-law. So I was just wondering whether we can substitute another member of the family, providing they meet the age group. The second question is, if someone then, providing we meet the minimum number, say 25 of us take out the policy, can anyone drop out at any stage at all? please.
Okay, so let me begin by saying, for the year groups that for a year group like yours, you can nominate other lives. You can nominate. We have people who say they were raised by their guardians or foster parents. So you can nominate other lives. Some people nominate their aunties and their uncles. It can be done. But there's one thing I might have left out. There are age limits. So unfortunately, it's not in my slide. So for the members and then spouses, they should be between the ages of 18 years to 70 years to qualify for the policy. So if I heard you very well, 75 year group, then if your average age will be around 64. So far as there's no member who is above 70 years, your group is okay to sign on to the policy. And then for the 2 adult dependents that each member can nominate onto the policy, that adult dependents needs to be between the ages of 31 years to 80 years. So I hope we have taken that. We have taken note of that. I'm sorry I didn't add that to my slide here, but it's very key. The ages are very key. They shouldn't, the covered lives shouldn't fall above the age limits that I have provided. And then I hope I have answered all your questions.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. But there was another thing about if someone drops out, you know, say we meet the minimum number of cover, and then someone wants to drop out, can they just drop out and not pay their premiums?
Okay, so the policy was designed on the basis of no contribution, no chop. So before any member can join, that person might have paid premium. So ideally, I said earlier on that it's an annual policy. So within a year, I wouldn't even recommend that you fall off within the year after you have paid premium. Otherwise, you lose out, because when you decide to leave the policy, you don't get anything after you have paid premium. However, upon renewal, that member can decide to drop off. And I know that limits the number. In case we have a number of 20, it limits the number to 19. But all we need is to know the risks. So once the whole group signed up at 20, we already know the risks that we are dealing with. So if there is a drop, in number, it's fine with us. But usually, we rather have increased numbers. So I hope I have answered your question.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Albie. And then after Albie, I think one person's hand is dropped. So after Albie, Dr. Hiller. Albie.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to know something. You have talked about everything, but you did not talk about how to make a claim. Maybe something happens, information, and how do you get the information from the claimant? That is number one, my first question. And then the second question is that, assuming we are 20 at the point of entry, you made mention that you needed a minimum of 20 people at the point of entry. And then this year, the first year of the policy, maybe somebody drops out. After the first year, in the second year, he drops out. And the third year, he did not contribute anything. But the fourth year, can he join back? Those are the two questions I have.
Okay. All right. So for the claim process, all we need is a proof of death. And when I talk about proof of death, we need a medical cause of death. That either that or a death certificate is allowed. Then we also have our own claim form that we'll share with you upon at the point of inception. So we will share that with the group leaders. they can share with the group members. So at the point of claim, you fill the online claim form, and then you add your proof of death, or which is either the medical cause of death or the death certificate, and we can start the claims process. And I said earlier on that it takes up maximum of 5 working days to process and make the claim payment. I also mentioned
Sorry,
that.
Noche, please mute yourself. Noche.
Is this what you gave to?
I also mentioned.
Go ahead, please.
Has an account that they prefer that we make payments into, it is fine with that. But if the group doesn't have an account and they have the details of the beneficiaries, at the point of notification, all we need is the details of the beneficiaries or the beneficiaries of the disease. And then we will make payments into the account details that has been provided to us. Then the second question that we asked about the renewal, what happens if a member joins maybe after the 4th year? Okay, so the policy is that flexible.
Hello?
Allow, let's say you joined at the beginning of the policy. Let me see here.
Huh?
Okay, so you joined in the 1st year. In the 2nd year, you joined, and maybe in the 3rd year, you were not able to join. And then in the 4th year too, you decide that you want to join. The policy allows that other members can join any point in time. But so far as at the point of renewal, you would have to go through the 6 months waiting period. And the premium will be prorated. You would have to go through a 6 months waiting period. That is if you are joining late. The 6 months waiting period is only for late joiners. But once the policy is renewing in the 4th year afresh, and you want to join, you can always join, and you join with the others and pay the same premium as everybody and enjoy full cover.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you. Before Dr. Hiller comes in, I want to get this clearly. Are you saying that if the person drops off along the way and in the 4th decides to join again, the person has a 6 months waiting period?
Okay. So, but the 6 months waiting period is only in relation to late joiners. So let's say at renewal, we've all renewed in January, and then someone joins in March. That person will go through the 6 months waiting period. But however, you haven't joined the 2nd year or the 3rd year, but the 4th year you want to join. Once you are joining with everybody at the point of renewal, you don't go through the waiting period. There's no waiting period for you. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you. Dr. Hiller, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. My question is, you indicated that every policy has its exclusions. What are these exclusions that apply? Can you educate us?
Okay, so as I said earlier on, there are the standard insurance exclusions. It's the tallest. If we have to go through it all right now, we will not finish. So it's not that tall though, but I will share a draft contract with Ellie, and he can put that on the platform for you to have a view of all the exclusions under the policy. Suicide is not covered.
Okay.
Suicide is not,
okay.
It's one of the exclusions.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to have an understanding of the philosophy behind the exclusions. You know, you started. So that's fine. But we want to see that list because we need to educate our people about some of these exclusions so that they are aware and doesn't.
Okay, so I
it
can
doesn't
give an
possible.
example. You be involved in a riot, and then through that you become injured or you die. That will not be paid. So these are some of the exclusions. I'll share with Ellie. I'll list them and share it with Ellie so that he can share it on your platform for everyone.
At least it gives us an idea of what exclusions are.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So it means that if I deliberately kill someone, when the person is supposed to be a beneficiary or is supposed to, where I'm supposed to benefit, it means that that kind of claim cannot.
That one is fraud. So yeah, that one will feature under fraud.
Okay. All right. So Paul, please go ahead.
So, I want to find out now, how is the premium paid? Is it paid at the beginning of the year, or you can pay monthly along the line? If you have to pay monthly along the line, when will the policy lapse? Let's say in case something happens.
Okay, so it's an annual policy. So there's nothing like monthly premiums. We take a one-time premium for every member. It's an annual policy. You pay once for the whole year. So if it's bronze, you pay $120.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you don't have.
Your line is breaking.
Yeah, real bad. Okay, let's go on to Frank Udeko. Frank, you can hear.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so my question is, assume everybody is going for bronze, and I decide to go for platinum. What happens?
Okay, so each year group should find themselves aligned to a particular package. It's not an individual policy, it's a group policy. So it's the group must agree on which policy, on the package that is good for them based on your affordability.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Now, Collins.
Hello. Yeah, bottom line, we have to make a decision about one, and based on the. I want to know from the platinum. Just educate me again. The platinum, what is the benefit, and how much is a premium per year?
Okay, so for the platinum, the total sum assured is it's 80,000 Ghana cedis. When you lose a member of the group, we'll pay out 20,000 Ghana cedis. When you lose a spouse of a member, we'll pay another 20,000 Ghana cedis, all within the year. And then for the 2 adult dependents that you're nominating onto the policy, we'll pay out 10,000 Ghana cedis each. So for the first adult dependent, if you should lose the first adult dependent, we'll pay 10,000 Ghana cedis. If you should lose the other adult dependents, will pay another 10,000 Ghana cedis. Then the critical illness cover to the payout is 10,000 Ghana cedis. It is also 10,000 Ghana cedis. And for the whole year, each member would have to pay 480 Ghana cedis to enjoy the platinum cover.
Okay.
Okay. So, just a follow-up. So in a year, for example, if I mean all the things that you mentioned in a year, if say, I mean, this is a group, let's say 5 people, 3 people lose people. I mean, people that were under the, I mean, what you are saying, would it take care of everybody?
Yes. So it's this package that you're seeing is per member. So each member is entitled to the 80,000 for the whole year with the breakdown below. So if you are having 5 members dying in a year, we'll pay out 20,000. If you're having 5 spouses dying in a year, we'll pay that. If you're having, I don't even want to say everyone, but the number of claims that are made within the year will make payment. So it's for the whole year, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Paul. Paul, if you can hear me, please unmute and then ask your question.
Yes, I was asking the question earlier about the premium payments, but I didn't get a response. Secondly, I also want to know the specific benefits of taking the policy on the group and rather taking it as an individual policy, because when I look at it, the premium, it looks like it's more expensive. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. So group policies, premiums for group policies are relatively lower as compared to individual policies. So you might be, if you can check with some individual policies, and you may not get, you may not be paying the 480 Ghana cedis that you are paying for the whole year. That may be your monthly premium for individual policies. So the premiums here are rather cheaper when it comes to group policies. Premiums are cheaper as compared to individual policies. And then the process of taking premiums is that we recognize the group, and actually the contract is the contract is provided to the group and not the individuals in the group. So although we recognize that the individuals make the group, it is one contract that is provided to the group. So in the same way, the premiums are taken in bulk. So the group would have to collect, if it's a platinum, you have to collect the 480 per each member, and then pay the bulk amount to us as the premium. You share the data with us. We have a platform whereby members can sit in the comforts of their homes and then fill in their details. Once we have the number, once we have the number that is ready to sign on to the policy, we share the data with the group leaders. They do the necessary corrections, and then the names are added to the contract. So we receive the bulk premium from the group, and then we also share one contract to the group.
All right.
But the contract has everybody's name and every dependent's name in it.
Thank you.
Okay, so just a follow-up, a quick one, please. Does it mean that there's nothing like lapse with this policy?
No.
There's nothing like lapse?
Yes, there's nothing like lapse.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we have 1 minute more, but I think we should extend our meeting by 10 minutes. And I think if you have already asked your question, please, you can lower your hand so we can identify those who want to ask again. Felix Atabu, please go ahead.
Yeah, sorry to take up your time again, team. I've got two queries again. One is, will the premiums increase on an annual basis at all?
No.
Will you review it in line with the economy, inflation, and everything else, and increase the premiums?
For now, the premiums stay the same. The policy will be reviewed in such a way that for groups that may find these benefits smaller, or maybe, let me put it that way, they may find this as not suitable for them. We are coming up with other packages above this to suit them. If you get what I'm trying to say. So there'll be higher packages, so that if there's a group who thinks that the 80,000 package is too small for them, they can go for higher groups. But for now, these particular packages, the premium stays the same.
Okay. Secondly, I understand that we need a broker to go ahead with it. Is that true?
Not necessarily. We have people coming to us directly. We have people going to brokers. It's your call. You decide how you want it done.
Okay, I have a question about brokers, but I'll ask my questions last. So, Dr. Hiller, your hand is up again.
As you indicated, people can come directly to you instead of going through brokers.
A broker,
Can you, a broker, can you give me your number so that we could come to you directly, please?
Sure, I can.
Okay.
Can I drop it in the chat box?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Go ahead. Thank you very much.
And while the questions are coming, if you could, please type your number on one of the slides and display on the screen so that we can all see.
Okay, I think that would do.
I also drop it in the chat. Albie, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity once again. Please, I just want to give these two scenarios. Actually, this happened to two different people with two different insurance companies. The first instance, the person bought a policy, and in the first month, and the following month, he lost the in-law, and the claim amount was paid to him. And then in the second instance, this guy bought his policy, but he has to wait for 6 months before he could get a claim. So I just want to know at what point, after the entry period, at what point can we, request for a claim, or can we apply for a claim when something happens to us?
On this
that
policy?
Is my first. Yes, please. The group policy. I want to know. Assuming we have started in January, and unfortunately something happens in February, can we make a claim?
Yes. So you go on cover immediately. We receive premiums. So if you pay your premiums today, your cover starts today.
Oh, okay.
There's no waiting period. But as I said earlier, for late joiners, those who come in late, so if the group signs on today and a week or two, even a week or two, and our members come and say they want to join, once you're a late joiner, for those late joiners would have to go through the 6 months waiting period.
Okay, and my very last question. It's a group policy, as you please understand. But the policy document, is it going to be mailed to individuals, or is going to just be given to our leaders? The policy document, like my name.
So it's one contract.
Okay. So
it's one contract that will be shared to the group leaders. They will share, I believe the group leaders will share that with you.
Okay, I understand. All right. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, Albie, your hand is up again.
No, I'm okay. I'm done. I'm going to lower my hand.
Thank you. Selassie.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so I want to find out how this is done. If you already have a policy for your parents, and you are joining this group insurance policy, and something happens, and you have to make a claim. You know, you're already saying that we are supposed to bring some documents along if you want to make a claim. So if and you've insured in the same insurance company, how is this done? Because you already have your individual
policy,
exactly, and then you're joining the group where you have a certain benefit. So how do you handle the situation?
So this policy doesn't affect your individual policies. If you already have an individual policy with us, it doesn't affect your individual policy with us, and it doesn't affect your individual policy with any other insurance company. So you can claim on your individual policy, you can claim on this group's policy. Even if you have joined another group, maybe your graduate year group, you've joined that and they've also signed on to this policy. Once you have paid your premium on that group, you can also claim on that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you very much. Now my question.
Ellie, a quick one.
Okay.
Yes. I want to know which insurance company she's from, because I think I joined it a bit late. Then also, I believe that she'll make the slides available to you because I wish to just recap a few things for myself thereafter.
Okay, I can share. I can share that with. I can share a proposal with Ellie, and then Ellie can share with you if that is okay for you. Or you can actually take my number and then send me a hi, and then I can share it.
Well, no, you can do that with. You can drop it with Ellie.
Okay, and I'm from Enterprise Life.
Okay, there's a question in the background somewhere. Someone sent me a question to ask. It said we should ask and know, ask and be sure of waiting period for dependents. Moses, could you go ahead and ask your the question yourself, please, if you can hear me?
Okay, thank you very much. My question is, she mentioned there is no waiting period for members. It's for only late joiners. But I want to be sure, what of the spouse and parents that are on cover?
Okay, so the late, okay, so at the point of entry, every member, every covered life, that includes your spouses and your adult dependents. Once you are starting at the point where the whole group is starting, there's nothing like a waiting period for you. But if for late joiners, it affects you as a member in all your covered lives. So if you join in late, the 6 months waiting period affects you, your spouses, and your adult dependents. Is it clear? So although you have paid a premium from the time that you are joining till the time that the policy ends, but you would have to go through 6 months waiting period. So if any incident should happen within the first 6 months, we are not liable. But after 6 months, we will pay the claim.
Not even if we lose the principal contributor.
Yes, they all get affected because the whole point is that we also don't want to accept a risk. The point, we also don't want to accept a risk. Why wait till later? It's as if maybe you've heard that the family member is about dying. This is just by the way. So you are now bringing in that member so that we insure. So in order to also protect ourselves as an insurance company, that is why we have also done this. So just so to avoid taking certain risks.
Okay, we'll take the last 2 questions and then
just follow up.
Go ahead.
All right. So can we cover someone who is part of us and probably not within the country?
Yes, it has no territorial limits. So members, once a person is a member but not resident in Ghana, any other country, once a person is part of your year group, that person can join the policy.
Okay, we had the last 2 questions, but Collins wants to ask again. Jeremy, please go ahead. Jeremy, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay, Albie, go ahead. Jeremy is not ready. Albie.
Thank you. I just want to be very sure. Do you have any do you anticipate any political interference in your processes?
No, please.
You are trying to ask if there will be any haircuts. Is that correct?
Yeah.
No, please. No, please. It doesn't affect this policy.
Not a haircut.
It doesn't affect this policy.
Okay.
I hope you understand what I wanted
Sorry,
to say.
can you explain, please? What do you mean by doesn't apply?
The question wasn't very clear.
Sorry, what do you mean by doesn't apply this policy? Doesn't apply to this policy.
So there's nothing like a haircut happening here. Once you have paid your premium, the benefits that you're seeing, that's exactly what you're going to pay to you.
No, that's not my question, please. What I'm saying is that I'm sorry to ask this, but then it's very important to me. Recently, our current finance minister resigned from Enterprise Insurance. I don't know if you're aware, but I know Enterprise Life is a subsidiary or a part of Enterprise Insurance. That is why I'm asking that. Whether do you anticipate any political interference in the future?
No, please. So we are out. we get this question all the time, but Enterprise Group, Enterprise Insurance, Enterprise Life, we have Enterprise Trustees, we have Transitions. They all fall under the Enterprise Group PLC. Now Enterprise Group has been in existence since 1911, and we are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Maybe I forgot to mention all that. And our partners are Prudential. So I just want us to move away from that political stories that we are hearing about about Enterprise, because our partners are Prudential in the US. Okay, so these are our major partners. The stories that you hear about the financial, the finance minister, I'm sorry, but our main partners are with Prudential INC, and we are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. So I just want you to know that your monies are safe with us, and you are not going to be affected in any way. You have other members who have also signed on to our policy, so you are in good hands.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point, due to time constraints, I would like you to stay on, Daniela. We will close this meeting.
I had a question to ask.
Yes, I know. Okay, go ahead. But please wait a moment. Because we want to stick to the time so that other people can move on with other things. I think those who have extra questions should please hold on. Daniela is not going, so that we close this meeting officially, and then we can continue to discuss this thing till we drop off. Are you all in agreement? Is it cool? Because we can continue. It's already, we've already spent more than an hour.
That's
fine.
Well, officially, you can close it and
perfect.
Off.
That's right.
Perfect.
So please keep your hands raised. Let's officially close this meeting, and then we'll continue the discussion. We are not going now, okay? So fellow Mawulians, I think I have other people from the health. I belong to a group where I shared this, and I think that's where Dr. Hila is joining us from the old and the young Havio Mawulians. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining us tonight. Daniela, we really, really appreciate your coming to give us a talk tonight. And we would say thank you to everyone who joined this call, but please don't go yet. If you have a drink by your side, please keep it by your side, and the meeting will still continue, even though it will officially close now. Thank you very much. I want us to stick to our time so that when next we invite you to the next meeting, which will be same time next week, you'll join us again. Another person is coming to give us a talk on similar subject. And then after we've had like 2 or 3 talks, we can, at our various year groups and workplaces, decide on what we want to do when service. Thank you very much. Daniela, we really appreciate your coming, but please don't go yet. We still have
okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, we've officially closed, but we still continue. Want to continue with, I think Collins raised his hand before Jeremy. So Collins.
It's James.
Yeah, I heard the voice, but I wasn't Okay, so Collins.
Hi. Okay, so last question. You said this is a group thing. So I mean, if we decide to go ahead with it, it will mean that to be effective, it has to be everybody must pay up by a certain period.
Yes.
Let's say if we are going to start from January, then it will be the requirement that everybody will pay up by the end of that January. That I just want to be sure if that's what I understand.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Before the next question comes, please, I want to remind everyone to for the next OMSU Congress, which is being held this coming weekend. I'm standing for the General Secretary of OMSU, please. So come in and vote. All right. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing all of you. Rudolph, I started Rudolph Ahiekbo. Please go ahead.
Exactly, this Rudolph. Good evening to you all. Yes, I want to ask. I joined very late, but I don't know whether she's spoken about this. Are we expecting any upgrade of premiums in the near future? And if we should expect one, which form is it going to take? How is the communication going to be today?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
So for the packages that I showed earlier, the premiums are going to stay the same, but there will be a review whereby we'll add other packages for groups that may feel that these packages are probably not enough for them, or they want better packages, or they want bigger sum assureds. So for now, these packages and the premiums stay the same.
Okay, so when it happens that you add up some new packages, and some of the groups are willing to go for those new packages, is it that they will upgrade, they will be upgraded onto those new packages, or this one will phase out and then they would have to start the new package?
Okay, so ideally, if the group would want to migrate to the older packages, it should be done. But since we haven't done that review yet, I'd rather want to give that feedback after the review has been done, and then I can take the whole group as to how that can be done. Is it clear?
Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
madam.
Thank you.
All right. So Felix, then after Felix, James.
Yeah, this is Felix again. Sorry, my apologies again, because I'm asking too many questions, I know. By the way, Dr. Hilado belongs to the same ancient group as me. We went to school together. Anyway, so my question is, do I get it right that if I'm 69 years old, let's say I'm 69 years old, and I take the policy this year, all right, let's forget that the year is even coming to an end, and I take the policy in year one. In year two, when I'm 70 or 71, can I still take it, or I cannot take it anymore?
Yes, you can, because you already know the risks that we have taken. So once you were not above the age limit at the point of entry, the policy upon renewal, we are still going to take the group because we already know the risks that we are dealing with.
Okay, okay, that's me. That's me done. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
All right, James, please.
Okay, thank you. My question is in the area of the first one is if it comes to those who need to sign off or authorize before you release payment, is there any risk mitigating measure, like a joint account where maybe you have either to sign, both to sign, two to sign, or something before funds are released, or just one person can sign and then funds are released to the person? That's my first question. And the second one is, if you have paid and you have joined with as at the time of payment, you were not married, but after payment you are now married. How do you bring in your spouse?
Okay, so
Thank
you
you.
can always bring your spouse if you were single at the point of signing on to the policy, and then you get married along the line. The policy allows that you can add. So in the same way, you can also take a dependent out. So once you get married, kindly notify us with the name and then the date of birth of your spouse, and then it can be amended to the policy. And then the first question, can you please repeat it for me?
Okay, I was talking about how for money is released from the account and things like that.
Okay, so as I said earlier, most year groups usually have their accounts that they would want us to pay the claims into. So we don't even require any signature or from the once we have the account details, we'll pay the claims. We make payments into your accounts that you have provided us. But for the year groups that do not have that, we ask that you provide us with the beneficiaries, the account details of the beneficiaries, and then we'll make the payments into the account. So we don't need any signatures. All we need is account details, and we are good to go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Galaxy J7. Please identify yourself and ask your question.
Good evening. I'm Antoinette Dogbe.
Hey, Anto. You go ahead.
Please, Daniela, my question is in relation to the dependents. If the dependents, you nominate in the case of spouse, if you've already lost your spouse, is there room for a provision, or once you lose, you lose?
You lose. As for spouse, you can't replace. As for spouse, but let's say maybe you lose the spouse, and during the cover period, you get married again. You can bring in your new spouse's details, and then we can add to the policy. But once you lose your spouse, you can't just replace with it should be a legally recognized marriage. So you can't just replace with anybody.
Okay. In the case of dependents.
In the case of dependents, so let me explain this. In the case of dependents, if you bring, let's say you bring your mom and your dad, you can only change when you haven't lost any of them. But the moment you lose your mom or your dad, you cannot replace with any other person. Is it clear?
Okay.
I think it's clear.
Yeah.
All right. So, James, your hand is up again. All right. On this note,
no, please. No, please.
I guess we've exhausted all our questions. And so, again, Daniela, thank you very much for honoring our invitation. We want to see your face because we want to connect with the person who is giving us a talk. These are money matters. Money matters. I want to be able to trust you.
Very necessary.
Please, show your face, please. Let's see.
Just a minute.
All right. I'm sharing the screen because we want to see it on a large screen and know who we've been talking to.
Just a minute.
All right. Don't worry, if you're not wearing clothes, you don't need to wear one.
No, so it was actually, I needed to put my wig on.
Is Daniela heavy? Is she heavy?
She's not Maulian. Hey, Benedicta, Answer, good to see you. All the silent listeners, welcome. Was good interacting with all of you. Nelson, you came and you were making noise before, and now you are completely mute. Say hello. The meeting is over, so we can just socialize.
Hi.
How are
Yeah,
you?
sure. That's how come I'm saying hello. Hi.
Oh, Balo.
Mimba.
This is me.
We still
my
can't.
camera is
We
still
can't
not
see you.
showing.
We see a black.
Yeah, we can't see you.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is me.
We hardly can see your face.
You should have shown your face a long time ago. We wouldn't have lost a lot of participants. Beautiful.
Well, since nobody wants to go away, can I ask another quick one, please, Daniela?
Please go ahead.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. You said something that I found a bit contradictory. You earlier on during the presentation, you said that we could use our aunties or uncles as the adult dependents, and now you say that if we've lost your mom and dad, which I have, then we couldn't substitute it for our aunties and uncles. Is that correct? We cannot substitute.
So let me clarify that. So you've already lost your mom or your dad, but you nominated an uncle or an auntie. Okay. Now, the example was in reference to when she was saying that she wanted to, if you had lost your spouse, whether you can replace your spouse. Now, you can't replace a life. So once you have nominated your uncle and your auntie, once you lose that uncle, you can't, let's say in the subsequent renewal, you can't replace that life.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Oh, yeah, it's clear now.
Okay.
Yeah, clear.
Okay. Whoever you have nominated, you can only amend or you can only make a change whilst the person is still alive. But once you have claimed on that life you have nominated, that is with the spouse excluded. Once you have nominated, you have nominated a life, and the person dies, you can't change or you can't replace with any other life. Is it clear?
Yeah, that's clearer now. Actually, I've a bit of what do you call it? My mom is still alive, by the way. It's my dad who's away, but my mom is too old. She's 84, so she wouldn't qualify for this.
She's
yeah.
Oh,
it's above the cover.
I see. Antoinette, you want to ask another question? Go ahead.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I forgot to.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for all of you to turn on your cameras so we say hello to each other. This is unofficial. Let me end the